Happy Tuesday, everybody. I just dropped off all my packages from the weekend at the post office. I didn't get a chance to get out and do anything yesterday. I was kind of busy, but today we're here at the thrift stores. We're going to go in there and see what we can get into. Hopefully we can find another cool mug like we did last week. But anyway, let's go in and see what we can get into. Well, I just finished in there. I was only able to grab one thing, and that was this Wii Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock for, I believe it was $3.99. So comps on it were $15 to $17. I probably make $10 off of it when it's said and done. It's a pretty good seller. But that's all for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Happy Thursday morning. It's early. We got a yard sale that we're going to go to. It's the one that I go to every other week. Sometimes they have it on Wednesday, sometimes Thursday, sometimes Friday. But today they're having it on Thursday. So let's get over there and see what we can get into. Well, this morning I couldn't film that yard sale because it was so darn dark there. So the footage it would have been bad anyway. So let me just show you what I got though. Outside the gate, there's always these quarter bins. So I'm always digging through there just to see what I can find. I found this. This is from '83. I don't know if it's a soap dish or not. I'm not too sure, but it's the World Fair, New Orleans. Found that, and then I found a bunch of vintage iron-on transfers. So there's a couple here, and they're still in the bag, and they have dates on them: 1990, 1996, 1991. And of course, vintage is 20 plus years old, but here's some right here. That one's 1995, Daisy Kingdom. I did look that up, and 10 to 15 bucks. And then they had a bunch of folders, a ton of folders with all kinds of stuff in it. I haven't looked through these yet, so hopefully I can look through these and see if there's anything good in there. There's cross stitch patterns, all kinds of stuff, and they're old. So hopefully there's something in there that can yield some kind of profit. I'm sure it is. I might lot them all together and sell them for 10, 15 bucks. But my grand total for today was $2 spent. We'll see you next time. Happy Friday, everybody. It's the last day of the week. I'm going to get into this thrift store and see what's in here. I probably won't be doing any yard sailing this weekend because I've got my daughter's birthday party, but we're going to figure out if there's anything good in here today. Hopefully there will be, but if not, then there's always next week. Let's get in there and see what's going on. Okay, all done in there. There was only one thing that I found today. Actually, it was a couple things, but the problem was with them, there was some shirts in there that they were a mess. I couldn't sell them at all. If they were in decent condition, I might have been able to make about 25, 30 bucks off them. They were vintage, but they were nasty. But I did find one thing, and that was a medium-sized Venom t-shirt. I should be able to make like 10 bucks off of this at the most. It's not vintage, but there's still a lot of people who love Marvel Comics and Venom and Spider-Man. So hopefully, like I said, maybe 10 bucks off. I might put it on Mercari and eBay instead of just eBay, because lately I've been selling a little bit more on Mercari, but we'll see what happens. This week has been really slow at the thrift stores. There hasn't been hardly anything that I've found. I've passed up on a lot of stuff that I didn't think I'd make any profit on. There hasn't been a lot of things in there. There was that one Starbucks mug. It was a pink mug that I thought I'd probably make about 40 bucks off of, but I looked, the inside was tearing apart, and it's just, there's no profit there. But that's all for today. We'll see you next time.
This week's BOLO.
Happy Halloween, everybody. This week I want to go over a really cool BOLO, since it is the week of Halloween, Saturday being Halloween, and that's Ben Cooper masks. Ben Cooper started making masks in 1937, which puts about 83 years ago, and for the last up until I guess 1992, they had made a ton of really cool outfits. Back in the 70s and 80s when I was growing up, you had the vintage smocks which had the character's outfit on it, and you put it on and it had like whatever like Spider-Man's outfit was and his mask. And what was really cool about those masks were they had like a see-through window. And I remember going to Kmart as a kid with my parents, and they had a ton of them on the shelves. And you could only see the side of the box what they were. They was big Star Wars back then. You would just pull them off the shelf and you would see through the glass window or the plastic window in the front. And they were, like Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, R2-D2, Stormtroopers, et cetera, et cetera. But they had made in the 60s, they had made Spider-Man, Batman, a ton of them. And a lot of them are famous horror-wise, like Frankenstein, Dracula, Uncle Creepy. But today I want to go over some of them that are actually bolos that are worth some money if you come across them. A lot of people find them at estate sales. Every once in a while you'll find them at yard sales, but it seems like a lot of people find them more at estate sales. But the first one here that sold for 750 was this Cousin Eerie costume from 76. That sold for $750 with one bid. Here's an Uncle Creepy that sold for $688, 23 bids. That was from 76. Here's an Addams Family Lurch that sold for $392 with 26 bids. Frankenstein, that's another, it's a 73. That was a best offer on 179. Here's another best offer, another Frankenstein. Here's a couple right here, actually four of them. They sold for a best offer off for $135. Here's $152 one. That's a 73 Frankenstein. And as we go down the list, there's a Dr. Shrinker. I don't think I've ever seen that one. That one sold for $146. Here's a King Kong that sold for a best offer of $144. This one here, so another Frankenstein, $132. I'm not sure about this one. I don't think that's a Ben Cooper, but anyway, here's another Dr. Shrinker that sold for $125. Here's a Frankenstein, $125. Land of the Giants Witch costume, a best offer, $125. There was so many different varieties of Ben Cooper costumes. If you ever get time, just look them up on eBay. They're really cool. Like I said, brings back a lot of memories. Here's a Superman costume with mask, and that went for $119. That's from the 60s. And then here's a Kung Fu Kane, a best offer off of $125. Here's a lot of different ones, including Ben Cooper, that sold for $68. Here's the Thing from the Marvel Universe that sold for $102. That one's really, that's kind of a crazy looking thing, though. Doesn't really look too much like it. I mean, I guess it does, but here's another one. The Deep Collegeville Deep Creature. That's really cool looking, $99. I've never seen that one. This is the first time I've seen that one. Here's a Wolfman, best offer of $100. Here's some of the those like cape and smock things I was telling you about. And here's a skirt, $102. Here's a mummy that went for $99. And as I said, as you keep going down the list, there's so many different kinds. Here's Alf over here in this one, a couple different TV comic ones, $51 on those. This is a Hangover costume. Rare Trippy Eyes. That's pretty neat. Never seen that one either. $99. Fantastic Four smock costume. That was $99. Here's another one. This is Astro Spook Ben Cooper, $99. But there's so many different kinds. There's a Woody Woodpecker, one of my favorite characters from when I was a kid. $98 for all four of these. This is Gem. So obviously it's from the 80s. 1985, best offer off of that. As I go down the list, like I said, there's so many different types of them. But if you ever find them at yard sales or flea markets, there's a He-Man Masters of the Universe that sold for $79.99. But they made a lot of different characters from the cartoons in the 80s too. So pretty much, if it was a great cartoon in the 80s like this, Thundercats right here, a lot of the other cartoon characters that were favorites. There's a Star Wars one. They made them. These are the Star Wars one right there is the one I actually remember seeing when I was a kid. They had a ton of them too, and I think I don't know if they were like $1.25 or $1.99. They were real cheap, I remember. But at one time I did have an R2-D2 one, but the little plastic piece had come out in the front window. I don't know whatever happened to it, but this one, yeah, $75 best offer on that one. Here's a Archie one from '69, best offer of that one. Here's one more, Bewitched, best offer on that, $74.99, and so on and so on. And She-Ra, like I said, from the 80s, has $75 on that. But if you get a chance to pick them up at estate sales, if you can get them for like 15 bucks, you'll make a pretty decent profit. It also depends on the ones. The older it seems and more popular, the more money they go for. But even the 80s fetch for pretty decent money, as you see on here. And like I said, even if you find just a costume without the face mask or any of these pieces that aren't in the box, you find them in the box, that's definitely a bonus. But if you find them they're not in the box, you can still pick them up, make sure they're not mildewed or water damaged or anything. I don't think the smocks had water damage really affected them. It's just more mildew and everything from being 40, 50, 60 years old. Here you go. Here's a Spock one for $64.99. But there was so many made, and as I said, with it being Halloween this weekend, be on the lookout for this stuff. Even after this, people probably still clearing out stuff in their garages, and it's going to start getting a lot colder soon. So there probably won't be as many garage sales in certain areas, the East Coast, out west. Maybe some of the lower states and all. They'll be doing a lot more. I mean, it's warm like where I live most of the year. It gets a little cold, but the further up north you go, seems like there's less and less yard sales, more indoor stuff. So estate sales would be good for that. Keep your eyes on that. And just any of the indoor flea markets that you come across, any of these type of things. If you can get them cheap, like I said, go for it, because they're really cool. They're really fun. And they're definitely a neat little memory for me. And I guess people in 30s, 40s, and 50s and even older that remember these as kids. So, but that was this week's BOLO. So enjoy your Halloween and have a good one. This week I'm going to go over about 5 items that sold on eBay and Mercari. This one is a 1995 Fleer Ultra set. It was the Sinister Observations lot. It included Jean Grey, Cyclops, and Iceman. It was 2 of the same Jean Grey. It was $25 that I had it listed for, but I took a best offer of $20 with free shipping. This next item was from one of my favorite anime series of the late 80s, and that was Guyver. This is the Max Factory Guyver Proto Zoalord model. It was basically a vinyl model. They had put out a bunch of different vinyl models from this series from Max Factory. And this one I had listed for $45 and took a best offer of $40 on it. I think I mentioned before that anytime I can find Playmobil items, I try to lot them up for money. This was part of a lot that I had picked up at a thrift store, and I just basically sold the bear, the cub, and the eagle together, and it sold for $16. Anytime that I can lot up any of the animals or the characters, I can usually ship them first class and sell them and make $10 to $15 profit on them. Up next is this Worlds of Power Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest book. It was a paperback novel from the 1980s, and I ended up selling it for $19.90. Keep an eye out for any of these Worlds of Power novels, because they do sell for pretty good money, especially Simon's Quest. And last and not least this week is this Barricade horror movie shirt. I had purchased this along with the Barricade movie years ago on DVD, and this was a bonus shirt that came with it. I never opened it. I turned around and sold it this week for $80 on Mercari. That's it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Even though there wasn't much going on this week at the thrift stores, I did have fun, and with Halloween being at the end of the week, it's my favorite time of year. Plus, my daughter's birthday is near the end of the month, which I was preparing for that. We'll get it next week. We'll see what we can get into, and hopefully we'll find some really cool stuff. So if you liked it, please hit the subscribe and like button, and we'll see you next time.